I guess you love movies. I do too. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be having another movie discussion video. Let's talk movies. This may be a new series on my channel, just every so often talking about some movie-related subjects. I've talked about why I don't think the Oscars matter, why I don't really care about Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb ratings. But today I'm talking about something that I do care about, and that is just talking about some of my favourite directors that are currently working. And why I love them, and a few of them are making movies this year that I'm very much looking forward to, and I just want to talk about some filmmakers that I really enjoy that are working today and are some of the best that are around. So let's just get into it really. I mean, some of my favourites, I'll talk about them in sort of just a random order. So one that obviously there's a new film, Sicario 2, coming out. I will be reviewing that pretty soon. I'm a big fan of the first movie, and I'm a big fan of that director. I'm a big fan of Denis Villeneuve. I think he's a magnificent director. I think he's right up there as one of the best directors working today. Sicario is a very good movie. I rewatched it recently. It was very, very good. Suspenseful, really well acted, fantastically shot. It's got two fantastic sequences, specifically the bridge crossing, the border crossing sequence is magnificent. It's suspenseful. It's so riveting, and that dinner scene near the end of the movie, which is fucking great. But Villeneuve is just such a talented director. I think his movies, specifically Sicario, Arrival, and Prisoners, all very heavy, all very intelligent, intense films. Great performances, all of them brilliantly shot. He can turn his hand to pretty much any genre. You've got more of a crime movie, you've got sort of a mystery thriller with Prisoners, you've got a science fiction film with Arrival, and then of course his masterpiece in my opinion is Blade Runner 2049, which is an absolutely incredible movie. I've got a review of that up on my channel. I'm a massive fan of the original Blade Runner. It's one of my favourite movies of all time, and Blade Runner 2049 manages to do something I never thought that it would be able to do, which is to be just as good almost as the original film. To really not seem out of place. It doesn't feel like a film that shouldn't exist. It feels like it deserves to be there, and it really proved me wrong. I expected it to be good because I'm a fan of Villeneuve, but I wasn't expecting it to be good as it is. And he's definitely one of my favourites, right up there with like Paul Thomas Anderson, who is quite possibly the most likely that he's one of my favourite directors working today. I still haven't seen Phantom Thread. I really need to watch it, but I definitely want to watch it. It was one of those movies that didn't come to my theatre, and then it got one screening, and I didn't get to see it, and I still haven't got to see it yet. I want to see it pretty soon. I'm a massive fan of his other movies. There Will Be Blood is a masterpiece, one of the best films of the last 20 years, an absolutely incredible film. Daniel Day-Lewis gives one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in a movie. And then you have like The Master of more recent times, which was absolutely fantastic as well. Brilliant performances in that as well. R.I.P. Philip Seymour Hoffman. I wish you could be here still because you're so talented. You were so talented, and we lost you way too soon. Joaquin Phoenix, one of the best actors working today. Seriously, love the guy. I really want to see You Were Never Really Here, but haven't got around to seeing it yet. Again, another movie that just didn't come to my theatre. Very annoying. But I love Magnolia, Boogie Nights. You know, I'm a massive fan of this director. PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, is possibly my favourite out of all of the guys I'm going to be talking about. It's very, very tough to choose. That's why I'm just going to talk about a load. Also, obviously Nolan. Everyone knows about Nolan. You know, he's a fantastic director. I love The Dark Knight. It's a masterpiece. It's one of my favourite films. He's made so many other great films like Inception and The Prestige, but many people have talked about Nolan. You know, he's well, regarded among film lovers and film critics. You know, he's a very good director. Dunkirk was excellent as well recently. So, yeah, I like Nolan. Very good. He has a few blots on his CV. Possibly The Dark Knight Rises or Interstellar aren't quite to the level of his better films, but he's still a fantastic director. And then I'll talk about a few Also Wes Anderson, love Wes Anderson, Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonrise Kingdom, what a fantastic movie that is. I love The Fantastic Mr. Fox. He's just such an inventive director, somebody who has such a distinctive visual style. There's nobody quite like Wes Anderson, and I adore his films. Obviously Isle of Dogs came out this year, and I watched that and I enjoyed it. It wasn't one of his better films, but still had his distinctive style, and I really enjoy him as a director. He's one of the most visually striking directors that are currently working. He's somebody that has such a clear visual style, such a vision, such a sort of distinctive filmmaking style that you can't miss his films. He's probably one of the best at that working. But a couple of my ones that maybe people don't talk about enough and definitely need to are Alexander Payne. An excellent director. Made Downsizing recently. Haven't seen that movie because I didn't hear very good things about it, but I might get around to watching it at some point. But I loved Sideways, a fantastic movie with Paul Giamatti in it. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant performances all around. Love that movie. Nebraska was great. I really like The Descendants as well. George Clooney gives a fantastic performance there. And, you know, a very underrated director, makes very good dramas, very solid, gets great performances out of his actors, and definitely a director that if you haven't heard of, maybe definitely check out his films. I definitely recommend it. Also, Steve McQueen. Not Steve McQueen like from The Great Escape, because he died years ago, but Steve McQueen, who directed 12 Years a Slave, which a lot of people have heard of and a lot of people love. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the best films of the last 10 years. Absolutely fantastic film. Brilliant performances in that. But I also adore his other work. I really like Hunger, and I think Shame is fantastic. I think that Michael Fassbender is truly magnificent in that movie and gives one of the best performances of this decade in that movie. I think he's fantastic in it. Truly shows his wide-ranging ability as an actor. Again, along with Joaquin Phoenix, probably one of the best actors, working today. And another director, probably the last one I'm going to talk about, is Damien Chazelle, obviously director of Whiplash, my favourite movie of the 2010s thus far, and it was just one of the greatest theatre experiences I've ever had. I think it was an incredible movie. La La Land was great, and I'm really looking forward to First Man, which comes out later this year, which is his story of Neil Armstrong. Ryan Gosling's going to play him. I'm really looking forward to that movie. Also, Steve McQueen is releasing his next movie, Widows, later this year, once again. So a few of these directors are working this year. I'm really looking forward to their films and what they do next. I think that these are a plethora of talent out there right now. A lot of people moan about modern cinema and say, you know, how generic it is and how many sequels there are, and there are too many. You know, there's too many superhero movies. You know, Disney, why are you making remakes of your amazing classics in live action? I don't understand. Why is there so many sequels? Why is there so many terrible movies? There are bad movies out there, but when there are these directors around, we can be content that there is some greatness still in modern cinema. So there you go, there's my discussion of some of the best directors working today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, drop your comments down in the section below. What's your some of your favourite directors working today? I didn't talk about someone like Quentin Tarantino or Martin Scorsese simply because they made movies, some of their best movies years previous, you know, 90s and 80s and 70s, so I haven't talked about those guys, but they are great. I do love them. But what are your favourite directors working today? Let me know in the comments section below, and if you did enjoy this, hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.